Hello students, myself Amrita Dhar, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, JIS Group. I will teach you Power System 1. Today we uh, Today we will discuss about general layout of a typical nuclear power station. This is my fourth lecture on the subject Power System 1. Let's start. A nuclear power plant is a thermal power station in which the heat source is a nuclear reactor. As is typical of thermal power station, heat is used to generate the steam that drives a steam turbine connected to a generator that produced electricity. So this is same as the typical form of thermal power station. Now what is nuclear power plants? A generating station in which nuclear energy is converted into electrical energy is known as nuclear power station. Now Kundakulam nuclear power plant is the largest nuclear power station in India, situated in Kundakulam in the Tirunelveli district of the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu. This is the world scenario. The source of this picture is IEA Electricity Information 2017, and from this picture you can see that 10.6% electricity of the world is produced from the nuclear power plant. Operating principle of a nuclear power plant. Now, in nuclear power station, heavy elements such as uranium or thorium are subjected to nuclear fission in a special apparatus known as reactor. Now, what is nuclear fission? What is fission? The breaking off of the nuclei of heavy atoms into two nearly equal parts with release of huge amount of energy is known as nuclear fission. Now the release of huge amount of energy during fission is due to the mass defect. That is, the mass of the final product comes out to be less than the initial product. Now this mass defect is converted into heat energy according to Einstein relation equals to mc square. So in nuclear power station, uranium or thorium are subjected to nuclear fission, and the heat energy thus released is utilized in raising steam at high temperature and pressure. Now this steam runs the steam turbine, which converts the steam energy into mechanical energy, and the turbines drive the alternator. That means it converts the mechanical energy into the electrical energy. So this is the nuclear reactor, this is the turbine, and this is the generator. Okay, heat energy drives the turbine, and this turbine drives the generator. Here the heat energy is converted into mechanical energy, and here the mechanical energy is converted into electricity. Next one, schematic diagram of nuclear power plant. You can see the schematic arrangement of a nuclear power station, and we discuss it part by part. Okay. So what are the main constituents of nuclear power plant? Nuclear reactor, heat exchanger, steam turbine, and alternator. So start with nuclear reactor. Now it is an apparatus in which nuclear fuel is subjected to nuclear fission. Okay. It controls the chain reaction that starts once the fission is done. Now what is chain reaction? At first you have to understand what is chain reaction. Nuclear fission is done by bombarding uranium nuclei with slow moving neutrons. Now this splits the uranium nuclei with the release of huge amount of energy and emission of neutrons called fission neutrons. Okay. Now these fission neutrons cause further fission. Now if this process continues, then in a very short time huge amount of energy will be released, which may cause explosion. Now this is known as explosive chain reaction. But in a reactor, controlled chain reaction is allowed, and this is done by systematically moving the fission neutrons from the reactor. The greater the number of fission neutrons removed, the lesser is the intensity of the energy released. So, you have understand what is chain reaction. Now, if the chain reaction is not controlled, the result will be explosion due to the first increase in the energy released. Now, a nuclear reactor is a cylindrical pressure vessel and houses fuel rods of uranium, moderator and control rod. These are the moderator and these are the control rods. Now the fuel rods, that means these. The fuel rods constitute the fission material and release huge amount of energy when bombarded with the slow moving neutrons. The moderators consist of a graphite rods which enclose the fuel rods. Okay. The moderator slows down the neutrons before they bombard the fuel rods. The control rods are of cadmium. The control rods are of cadmium and are inserted into the reactor. Now cadmium is strong neutron absorber and thus regulates the supply of neutrons for fission. Now when the control rods are pushed in deep enough, they absorb the most of the fission neutrons. Okay. And hence few are available for the chain reaction. Therefore stops, and however as they are being withdrawn, more and more of the fission neutrons cause the fission and hence the intensity of the chain reaction is increased. Now if we want to increase the amount of chain reaction, we remove the control rod. And if we want to minimize the chain reaction, the control rods are immersed into the reactor. Okay. So, by the pulling out of the control rod, the power of the nuclear reactor is increased, and by pushing them in, it is reduced. So, in actual practice, lowering or raising the control rods is accomplished by automatically according to the requirement of the load. The heat produced in the reactor is removed by the coolant, generally sodium metal. The coolant carries the heat to the heat exchanger. Now, what is the function of heat exchanger? The coolant gives up the heat to the heat exchanger, which utilized in raising the steam. Now, after giving up heat, the coolant is fed to the reactor. Okay, the coolant is again fed to the reactor. Next one is the steam turbine. Now the steam produced in the heat exchanger is led to the steam turbine through a valve, and after doing a useful work in the turbine, the steam is exhausted to the condenser. The condenser condenses the steam which is fed to the heat exchanger through the feed water pump. Now what is the function of this steam turbine? The steam produced in the heat exchanger is led to the steam turbine through the valve. Through a valve. After doing a useful work in the turbine, the steam exhausted to the condenser. The condenser condensed the steam which is fed to the heat exchanger through the feed water pump. Now, what is alternator? The steam turbine drives the alternator. The steam turbine drives the alternator which converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy, and the alternator is delivered to bus bar via transformer, isolator and circuit breaker. Now, what are the advantages of nuclear power plant? First one is the amount of fuel required is quite small. Therefore, there is a considerable saving in the cost of the fuel transportation. Second one, a nuclear power plant requires less space as compared to any other type of power plant of same size. Third point is it has low running charges because a small amount of fuel is used for producing bulk electrical energy. Now, this type of plant is very economical for producing the bulk electric power. It can be located near the load center because it does not require large quantities of water and need not be near coal mines. So, the cost of primary distribution is reduced. Now, there are large deposits of nuclear fuels available all over the world. Therefore, such plants can ensure the supply of electrical energy for thousands of ensure continued supply of electrical energy for thousands of years. Last one, it's ensure the reliability of operation. What are the disadvantage? The fuel is expensive and is very difficult to recover. Though the fuel requirement is very less, but the fuel is very expensive and it is very difficult to recover. Next one is the capital cost is very high as compared to other types of plants. The erection and commissioning of the plant require greater technical know-how. The fission byproducts are generally radioactive and may cause a dangerous amount of radioactive pollution. Maintenance charges are high due to lack of standardization. Now, moreover, high salaries of special trained personnel employed to handle the power plant further raises the cost. Now, nuclear power plants are not well suited for varying loads, as the reactors does not respond to the load fluctuation efficiently. Last one, the disposal of the byproducts which are radioactive is a big problem. They have either be disposed of in a deep trench or in a sea away from the seashore. Choices of site of the plant. First, availability of water. As sufficient water is required for cooling purpose, so the plant site should be located where ample quantity of water is available. Example, across a river or by a seaside. Next one, disposal of waste. This is very important. The waste produced by fission in a nuclear power station is generally radioactive, which must be disposed of properly to avoid health hazards. The waste should either be buried in a deep trench or disposed of in a sea quite away from the seashore. Therefore, the site selected for such a plant should have adequate arrangement for the disposal of the radioactive waste. Distance from populated area. The site selected for nuclear power station should be quite away from the populated area because there is a danger of presence of radioactivity in the atmosphere near the plant. So, as a precautionary measure, a dome is used in the plant which does not allow radioactivity to spread by wind or underground waterways. Last one is the site transportation facilities. The site selected for a nuclear power station should have adequate facilities in order to transport the heavy equipment during erection and to facilitate the movement of the workers employed in the plant. So from the above from this point, the ideal choice for a nuclear power station should be near or the sea or the river and away from the thickly populated areas. That's all from today's class. If you have any problem, please contact with me. My contact details is given on the first slide. Thank you.